Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel, The Crafty Carpenter, where we talk about residential carpentry, the tools we use, some techniques and tips along the way. This week's video is going to be about the speed square, so I hope you enjoy it. Let's dive in. The most common use for our speed square is to mark a 90-degree angle or a straight line. Hold the fence or lip of your square firmly up against your wood, hold it tight, and mark your line. That line is now 90 degrees. You can also use your square to check the 90-degree angles in your framework, in your doorways. As long as the fence or lip of your square is flush, flat, and your angle is flat, that's a perfect 90 degree. You can also use your square to check lines and plumb cuts. Perfect. The next thing we're going to learn about our speed square is how to make miter cuts. Miter cuts are cut at a 45. Miter cuts are used to make your trim around your doors and your windows. Remember our 90-degree mark? Well, this time we're going to just flip our square over, bring it back to that mark. Hold the fence of your square firmly up against your wood and mark. This mark is a 45-degree angle this way. The trim around your door and most windows will have a 45-degree cut. This cut right here is called a miter cut. That cut, if it's correct, should be at a 45. Looks perfect. And once again, as I was saying, this 45 cut and this 45 cut makes a 90-degree corner. Just like that. More interesting things about the speed square is that it has a ruler on one end. It also has markings on both sides. On this side, it has degrees, which you can mark a degree, any degree from 0 to 90 degrees, also on both sides. So let's make some marks. It also has this cool marking gauge in here. So let's see how that works. The way we're going to use our marking gauges on our speed square is fairly easy. We're just going to put our fence up against the wood, use your marking device, whether you're using a pencil, pen, or a scribe. You put it in whatever measurement you want, 1, 2, or 3 inches. We're gonna go, let's go with 2 inches. You put your marking device in that 2-inch gauge, and you just pull your square, making sure your square stays flat up against, or your fence stays flat up against your wood. And there you have your 2-inch line. I think the coolest thing about the speed square versus like a combination square is the degrees you can make. So like I said, you can do degrees from 0 to 90. And what you do is you have a pivot point right in the corner there of your square. So you want to put your pivot point right into your line and hold that tight, and then we're going to pivot. So say we want a 25 degree. You put your square on your pivot point, you turn it until it says 25 degrees, get that right there, hold it tight, and mark it. And now this is a 25-degree angle. Let's make another angle. Let's go to 35. Hold that tight on your pivot point, turn that to 35, and make your mark. And this is 35 degrees. So, like I said, it goes all the way to 90, but you'll notice that if you go to 90, is all the way up. Hold that there. It's gonna fall off because that's a 90 degree, which is a square. Well, thanks for joining me here at the Crafty Carpenter. I had a good time and I hope you did too. If you like these videos and you want to learn more about the tools that the carpenters use, then it only takes 2 clicks. One, like the channel, and the other one is subscribe. And you can learn much more about carpentry on a weekly basis. I'll see you next week. Thanks.